I'm an ENTJ personality who keeps a small circle of friends.
I'm an ENFJ personality with a squad, a crew, a clique, and my girls.
I'm Dr. B. Cooper.
I'm Toyi Elizabeth.
And we're new friends.
So, Off the Bluffs is about friendship. It's about our friendship, right?
Mhm.
As we navigate, we're still getting to know each other. So, honestly, I feel like it's going to turn out okay, but I don't know. Sometimes we'll talk
sounds like
through
something
that.
I might say.
But it's about friendship among women in this season of life. But it's also about life in general,
Yes.
right? This is Dr. B. Cooper, and Dr. B. Cooper has a master's in literature. I write books, but I don't have any. Like, I'm not qualified.
She makes
to do
money
that.
writing books. We'll put that out there. If you know anything about academia,
I
that don't
academia. The rest of us say academia. She loves
Chicago.
She is very passionate about friendship. So
Yeah.
you read a lot, and you knew all these characters as we were having discussions, as we were preparing, and like getting to know each other for the podcast. You had a lot of discussions about friendship, our friendship in general.
Yes.
What's your favorite book? I'm a movie person. She's a book person.
Yeah, that's
well,
true.
I mean, I'm a book person too, though, y'all.
Yeah,
right?
her
Like,
own
really?
books, making money off. I want to put that out there.
What's your favorite?
I have several. I have some movies I like too, but in terms of books, I have several. And the one I actually brought one that I was like, I might find something that connects to what we're doing today. And as we're sitting here talking, I'm the one that comes to mind right now because I have several here. So, Women of Brewster's Plays.
I'm not gonna show it.
The Women of Brewster's Plays by Gloria Naylor. It became a movie. I don't know if you ever saw it. Oprah was in it. Your girl. It did become a movie, but I read the book first. And it's this section. It's 7 women. They all live in Brewster Place, which is located in New York. And they came from different parts of the South. If I got that part correct. I know that the 2 characters I want to talk about both came from Tennessee.
Okay, so before we start that, I need a point of clarification. Oprah is not my friend, y'all. I do not know her. I'm like, she just said, because you said,
I said your girl.
Yeah, which people will interpret as my friend.
Got it. Okay, I said
and
that.
And to be clear, if Oprah were my friend, we wouldn't be sitting in my sitting room doing this. Right? If I had like what?
Well, listen, I'm from Chicago.
But I do love Oprah. So
I'm from Chicago. So when I say your girl, that means I have to translate for the people. That means that's somebody who's dear to you, that you kind of look up to.
Okay,
so.
All right, thank you. Now
carrying on with
Brewster Place. Wait a minute, she produced the movie.
She did. Yes. I think it was around the same time she was doing a lot of literature from African American women. Maybe The Color Purple, even though it wasn't produced by her, but this was this time frame. Interestingly enough about Oprah, she also played in a version of Native Son by Richard Wright. It was a really interesting movie, but Oprah did talk a little bit about this. So ironically, Oprah played the character Maddie, who I'm going to talk a little bit about. And I can't remember who played Etta Mae. And they don't necessarily remind me of the two of us in their characterization, because Oprah is her character, or the character here, Maddie. Maddie played the kind of, she was the religious one, right? Maybe.
Y'all heard her just, I feel like she just, I hope y'all felt that the way I felt that. She was the religious one.
And you're Chandala.
I'm the religious one.
But it's not because of that this reminds of us. I'm going to read a little bit of part of it. I'm going to give you a little setup. So Maddie and Etta Mae, they're friends. They're longtime friends from Tennessee. Etta Mae comes to visit her in New York. They haven't seen each other in years. But in this encounter, Etta Mae's telling her a little story about how she took a car. And I'm going to read just a little bit of it because...
Who stole the car, me or you? Which one is the one that...
I guess if you're Maddie, I must be Etta Mae.
But
But if
I'm the
y'all,
religious one and you're the thief.
well, Etta Mae's is a little more problematic
Okay,
than that.
read the thing, girl.
So anyway, she said, so Etta Mae gets there. She says, sit on down and take a breather. Must have been a hard trip. When you first said you were coming, I didn't expect you to be driving. To tell the truth, I didn't expect it myself, Maddie. But Simeon got very ornery when I said I was heading home, and he refused to give me the money he'd promised for my plane fare. So I said, just give me half and I'll take the train. Well, he wasn't going to even do that. And Maddie, you know, I'll be damned if I was coming into the city on a raggedy old Greyhound. So one night he was by my place all drunk up and snoring. And as kindly as you please, I took the car keys and registration. And so here I am. My God, woman, you stole the man's car? Stole nothing. He owes me that. And then some. Yeah, but the police don't want to hear that. It's a wonder the highway patrol ain't stopped you before now. They ain't stopped me because Simeon didn't report it. How you know that? His wife's daddy is the sheriff of that county. Laughter hung dangerously on the edge of the two women's eyes and lips.
That's the part that reminds us. Because that's
us.
I'm
right
listening.
There. It's when the narrator says that. Laughter hung dangerously on the edge of the two women's eyes and lips.
So, okay. Thank you for that.
But
I'm cutting you off now.
Okay, but let me tell you the other laughter part. The other laughter part. Let me tell you the other laughter part, and then I am done, because this part you're going to really be like. And then she says, the laughter lost its weak hold on their mouths and went bouncing crazily against the walls of the living room. Each time the laughter would try to lie still, the two women would look at each other
and laugh again
and send it hurling between them once again.
I'm like, so I'm listening to you read, and I'm like, how is this us? Like,
girl, the laughter. Just imagine when I'm telling you a story, even now, the laughter's trying to come out, girl.
Because you just really took the people
on
to school on a literary journey. So I'm so happy that you did that, because your joy, you're so happy. Literature makes you happy. And I push back, y'all. I push back a lot on like bringing books into the podcast, because I think that's I have your book here. Thing.
Where's your book?
Oh, stop it.
Oh no.
We worked it out. And so you read that part, but I was like, and we didn't like, that was live for me. So I was like, what part of this is us?
Yeah.
And then when you got to the laughter part, I knew that was it, because we laugh.
We do.
A lot. It's the commonality, I think, between us. Yeah. I will tell you my Brewster Place thing. Okay. Not because I read the book though. But because I watched the movie.
Yes.
I do read. Let me stop playing. I read a lot because I don't want people to.
Thank you.
I don't want people to. I don't want young people to watch this and be like, she doesn't read. I read a lot.
A lot.
Actually, I read a lot. I'm just messing with her because she is really gets a great delight from discussing books. But I saw the movie, and the movie was transformative for me because in the movie, Oprah has a son, Basil. And when my older son, and that was like when the movie came out, I just became a mom. My older son was just born, like he was a baby. And I remember just looking at him like, Basil. And I also remembered how Basil took her down.
Yes, he did.
The love you love. And I love my boys like that. They could definitely like take advantage of me, make a fool of me, whatever. And I often talk to my older son about that, is that as a new mom and a young mom, I was so enamored with him. And that's the part of the movie that struck me. She did everything for Basil, and Basil did her.
Yeah, he ended up breaking her heart.
Yeah, I'm telling you right now, sons, don't be Basil. Love your mothers. Because that was terrible. I remember just the end scene where she had to move, right? Because she lost the house. I haven't seen it in a long time, but that was great. Thank you.
And that was ensemble cast. Remember? Yeah. I mean, when that used to be a really big thing. I don't know if they do a lot of that anymore. Where the ensemble, they're all actors. Yeah. They're all pretty established, and you moved from one character to another, and you were involved in each one of their lives.
Yeah, it's like The Best Man. Did you watch The Best Man reboot?
Girl, did I watch it. I was upset. Now, you said that we should do all of these episodes and people like to watch episodes all at once. I tried to watch that series as slowly as possible because I didn't want it to end. It was amazing to me.
I watched it shamefully. I started it at 8:00 at night. My husband was traveling, so I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna watch the new Best Man."
Yeah.
I watched the whole season.
Oh, wow.
I was so tired the next day, but it was so good, and I was so satisfied to see my old friends. Because as you said, Oprah's my girl.
Yeah.
So those are my people too.
Oh, those are our people.
Kendall's my girl.
Kendall's my girl. Yeah. Those are our friends. They represent people around our age group. Yeah. Much like the vineyard. Much like the
whole
vineyard.
Country is our age group. Speaking of our age group, this happened to us the other day. Did I tell you this? We go to this little spot. My husband and I go to this place in our town for Wings Wednesday. And we went to Wings Wednesday like we always do. And you know who was in there?
Who?
The Jizza.
What? No, for real.
He sat at the table next to us.
What? Did you say something?
And so, no, you would have done that. That's what you would have done. You would have been like, "Hi, Jizza, I'm Bridget."
Or maybe I just would have said hi, and he would have thought I already knew him.
No, you would have said, "Hi, Jizza, I'm Bridget."
You've never seen me do that.
I have seen you do that. Or no, because you know his name, you wouldn't have said that.
Right.
You would have said, "Hi, I'm Bridget."
Yes.
But when you don't know someone's name, you say, "Hi, what's your name?" "I'm Bridget."
I'm just trying to figure out how this became about me. So you saw
thing is about you.
Okay.
That's what
I'll take that.
Host of the show. You're the host.
But tell me about, did you say something? Or?
Well, I didn't, but I listened. I hope he doesn't watch this because he can be like, that heifer was ear hustling. But it was cool. And let me tell you something. The reason why my husband noticed him first, but I noticed him because our generation has a soundtrack, and that soundtrack is hip hop, real hip hop. And this dude sounded like he was on a track, like he was talking, but he sounded exactly like on a track. So when I heard the voice, I was like, oh, he sounds like he's on stage, even telling the story.
Cool.
But it was cool.
Yeah,
it was cool, and we did not bother him because he's doing whatever. Just like I don't like to be bothered.
Oh yeah, we know. So you guys heard it twice, right? So she has this prayer room where she stays with insular, is that?
Yes.
And then everywhere she goes becomes her insular space. So even your little wing spot, you guys have a corner, if I'm not mistaken.
That is correct.
And although it's open to the public, you dare people to come into your part of that space, but you allow Jizza to.
It's that.
Is that right? Did I get it right?
It's not that I don't allow people into my space, like you crazy. But it is that. I mean, I am pretty insular, and so I do protect my space, my energy, or whatever. But I'm not unfriendly.
Well, I know. I mean, we're friends, so I'm trying to figure out. That's actually a good question. How did I get into your space? Because you are pretty insular, and we talked earlier about getting older and, deciding I'm kind of done because you have more friends. I mean, I hate to put myself out there like that, but you have many more friends than I do. I can count on 3 fingers.
She has 2 friends. 3 fingers. Yeah, she's 3. One of them is her sister. And I keep telling her that doesn't count. So you had 2 friends.
Well, I think it counts because we were not friends, and then we decided to be friends.
That's nice.
Yeah, so
we're definitely going to explore that.
We will.
A future episode.
Yeah, but you have a lot of people in your life, and as a matter of fact, in a recent conversation, you told me that sometimes people don't understand your friendships, right?
Yeah.
So for you to be so insular, I'm really intrigued. Like. How did we become friends on your end? I know what it was for me, but
so when you say how did we become friends, you mean why? Because how we became friends is you married my friend of 20 years. Like what? Like,
but
you mean why did we become friends? Why did we become friends? Because other people have married people I know, and I didn't become friends with them. Exactly. So that's interesting. It's the thing that we talk about in the next episode. I think we just click, and our personalities are similar but different. We what do we say? We're funhouse mirrors, right, from each other. Because as she already told y'all, I'm the religious one, and she's the book one. She's the academic one. she's professorial. And I used to be, I used to be. So, but I think how we became friends was just what I say about all friendships. Well, not all friendships. Anyone who is my friend is someone who is good with who they are. You can't be my friend if you're not good with who you are, because I'm really good with who I am. I am very good with who God has made me. I'm good with all the things. And so if you are not good with yourself, you're not going to be good with the fact that I'm good with myself. And I think you showed up with, hey, I'm good. Remember the first time you were here, you said when you first saw me, the first time you met me here, when your husband brought you here for our party, you remember what you said?
That night,
yeah,
I said that you looked at me, you walked down the stairs, you looked and from a distance and you were like, and then you went back upstairs. Is that what I said?
Yes. But what was that? What does it, do you remember what you said was the narrative that you put around that? You said, I walked down the stairs like.
Oh, like the queen of your life.
Yeah.
Is that what I called it?
Yes. And what else? But
your memory is better than
I know
mine.
It is. What you said was, and I thought that is one of the best characterizations of me I have ever heard. What you said was, I remember when I met you, Steve brought me to your house and you came down the stairs and looked. You said, and I probably did do that because the house is full of Negroes. And you said, I looked. And you said you were like the queen of your world, but not trying to be the queen of anyone else.
That's true. That's still how I see you.
Yeah, that's how I am. That's how I feel. But it was extraordinary to me that you encapsulated that with every time I'm around her, I start using. Why did I say encapsulate?
I know, but you guys haven't heard me do that, so I don't know why she's saying it's me.
But it really is true. And so you became my friend, I think, because you're good with you. And so you saw me come down and you said, oh, she's the queen of her world, but she's not trying to be the queen of anyone else's. And a lot of people stop at she's the queen of her world.
Or she thinks she's the queen of the world.
Yeah.
I actually do celebrate that because two things. One, I like to be around like people. And two, maybe it's the same thing. I like to elevate people to the place that they've elevated themselves to. Right. And so, and I tend to only have people in my life who are good with themselves in that way too. So when I saw that you were the queen of the world and you didn't want to be mine, that's because I recognized that in me. Like, I like being the queen of my world. And as you know, when people threaten that, that's the only time that there may be just like a little smoke.
I'll let that stand for now. A little
just
smoke,
a little smoke.
You
just
are
a little bit.
So much smokier than I. You're smoke. She is the smoke.
Now I am in the present moment, probably a little bit smokier than you are. But I recognize
think you need to be.
I think so.
And I say that because you are in a new season, right? As you're a newlywed.
Yes.
And you have entered into this cult that I call, our crew, right? The black excellence, the black glitterati. You do have to have boundaries. Yours, though, are a little smoky. I mean, there's boundaries and then there's
Bridget boundaries.
Snipers on top of the wall. Boundaries with snipers on the wall. What's the little thing that you hold on then when you take your thumb off it? Grenades.
Oh, wow. Grenades.
In the wall. You have grenades.
I don't think anybody would believe that. Do I look like I have any grenades anywhere? I don't think that's believable. Okay. I'm so kind. Look.
You are kind, but also too smoky. You have smoke. You have smoke.
Well, I mean, in my defense, I have been in 4 different places in the past 10 years, right? And bringing my children along as well. So I think that it's like you're moving into a different season of your life and you still remember that season and you're moving a little bit out, but you're like, let me keep the toe in, I may be in the toe part of it now as opposed to the whole foot or the whole half of the body. I think I'm moving a little bit more. And I think that's I'm only going to reference this again because you are that person. The reason why I laugh when I'm with you is because you recognize those moments that, to me, when I see that face, y'all have seen various facial expressions.
I know.
That is the way she communicates. When I see the faces, it's almost like I can create a key of the faces. Like, oh, that means, girl, you're doing too much. Or like,
remember we were at church and I mean, y'all, she had smoke in church. How you have smoke in the house of the Lord?
Don't remember that.
We were in church and you had gotten your feathers ruffled about something, and you formed a solution. So what she did, she didn't like where someone told her to stand. That's really what it was.
What happened?
Yeah, we were taking a picture and you didn't like where someone told you to stand. And so you got ready to just bum rush the whole spot.
I sure did.
And
we have
I was
proof
like,
too.
yeah. And I was just like, well, maybe we'll just stand here. And I said it with a calm in my voice because I am the Bridget whisperer. So I know how to be like, I know how to just say, girl.
You do.
And then that means something versus when I say girl.
Yes.
So when I say girl, that means activate.
Yes.
That means I got your back, activate, because what she just did was out of order.
See, I love that.
But most of the time I'm just girl.
Or now you're at the point, I mean, our friendship now is how many months old? You would think it was longer.
Yeah,
but you're at the point that you don't even have to say girl anymore. That's what's so funny about it. That's what makes me laugh, because I'm like, you could just look at me, because more of your communication is expression and movement than talking anyway. You are at that point, and it makes me laugh every time because I'm like, she gets it. Like that's what the recognition is. I'm like, she gets it. Oh, maybe I need. And so now when you're not even with me, when I'm in a moment, like I told you about the other day when I was about to be a cyber bully on somebody, and I put something up and I was like, how do you say it? What would Toyi do? WWTD. And I was like, she would say, this is not how you should be handling this. You need to, if it's not about, which you said to me yesterday, if it's not about somebody's spirit just being wrong or them activating the negative part of themselves, the evil part of the world, then maybe you should just think about it and you'll have your time.
Yeah, because that is my approach. Like, let's be clear. I'm sure people who know me are watching, and they probably feel like you're characterizing me as someone who is very gentle and docile and whatever. And there's some people out there like, shh, you don't want those hands. And that is true, but I have very defined boundaries on when I speak. Most of the time I don't say anything. People can say anything about me. I'm like, I don't care. I've gotten to the point where you can like me for no reason.
Yeah.
I would prefer you to like me for no reason. Just say, I don't like how she looks, or I don't like how she sounds, or I don't like her sneakers or whatever, than to like make something up. But for me, I do speak up when I feel like someone's faith or spirituality is at risk. Because I am so vocal about my faith as, a Christian influencer and all those things that I do and say online, that if someone makes a suggestion that I feel like will make someone else stumble, and this is biblical, then I step in. Like, then I have to speak on it. I also have, and I'm still working on this, but, back in the day, like when I was younger, I used to think I was the Holy Ghost, not just I had the Holy Ghost, but I thought I was the Holy Ghost. And I thought it was my job to correct people.
I remember those Christians.
Yeah. And to show you, not correct you with words either. I'm not a yappy. I can show you better than I can tell you. Yes. And I was that. And so, I hurt people's feelings. I have, I have gifts. Right. And because
sounded like there were quotation marks around that when you said it.
Gifts. And, because I do have these gifts and I can relate to people, I know the hurt that people feel and the pain that people feel. We all carry pain. And as a young person, I wasn't able to extend people grace for that pain. Yeah. So even though I knew that a person carried pain, if they lashed out at me in that pain, because I was aware of the pain, I exploited it. And so
that was purposeful.
Very much so.
Really?
Very much so. I had to grow from that. And it was painful lessons to learn.
Yeah.
But this is like real talk. Like I'm being 100 when I say the last time I did, it was probably 30 years ago, right? It was probably 30 years
Really?
ago. And I
But
said,
you're only 37.
right. And someone called me a, high yellow, half breed, something, whatever it was.
Yeah.
In that insult, it was her self-hate.
Yeah.
And I came for her because, well, you hate the way you look. So now I'm gonna go in on you. And then I called her, and it was like that moment in School Days between the wannabes and the jigaboo. Yeah, I was all like jigaboo, I was doing all that. And
I love that song. Go ahead. Go on and swear.
Let us
See
sing.
if I care. Good and bad hair.
So I learned not to do that. I learned to respect, the pain that people carry. I carried pain. I had situations. And so now I just see it differently. And that's sometimes what I'm trying to get you to see.